Anyway.
We're about to see a new holiday started this week, Prime Day.
I know. But they have to extend Prime Day because they're not doing that well. All that can't last. There's going to be a bust soon. Because what Marxism shows is that as a whole, this whole working class worldwide, and let's talk about the U.S., out of every day you put in, there's profit taken out of your labor. Profits. All you get is a little bit enough to maybe survive. The rest is accumulated in the wealth of the profit makers, and over time, shorter and shorter period than ever, the working class cannot buy back what they produce. That's why you have an excess of homes built and homelessness, an excess of food and hunger, an excess of universities and students not being able to go to school. Capitalism is the first system that produces excess and overproduction, which creates crisis. And why socialism resolves that crisis. And now, in this world of environmental destruction, only socialism, arresting this capitalist production just for profit, only socialism can resolve the problem of the planet. Only socialism.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just one last question. Gloria, as a Mexican American myself, I truly admire for what you have done, and always stand for the people. And I've seen many works on you where you travel all over, from Yugoslavia to Iraq to elsewhere, and I would just like to know if could we possibly see Gloria La Riva running in 2020?
I don't know. I belong to a party where we make those decisions collectively.
Yes.
We're about to have our fourth party Congress in August, and we haven't discussed the elections yet in terms of our participation. I have a feeling we'll be running, but again, there will be a discussion about if we do, vote on it, and if we do, who. And so that will be up to the party, to the delegates of the Congress.
Yes.
But certainly, 2020 is going to be a big challenge for all of us, because we're going to be swept into it. Already people are very involved in trying to figure out who's going to provide the answer. And our role, regardless of whether we run or not, is going to be out there in the street. When I ran for president, along with Eugene Puryear as our vice presidential candidate, and Dennis Banks, a great Native American leader in a number of other states, Eugene Puryear being a young African American activist from Washington, D.C., we had a unique approach to the elections. We ran our campaign to talk about socialism, to reach out and gain many more members and influence in the country, and I think helped educate a lot of people, fought for some media coverage. But the other was our approach to Bernie Sanders' campaign. Others in the left would say, oh, he's a sheepdog, he's bringing people into the Democrats. But our interest was seeing how people were going to respond to his saying that he's a socialist and calling for things that the other candidates wouldn't call for, the other capitalists. There are definitely contradictions with Bernie Sanders.
Yes,
he voted at one time for the Gaza bombing, more weapons. But our thing was reach out to the people supporting him to say, good luck. Maybe he'll run as an independent, but if he doesn't, we'll be around.
Yes, and he's also a big-time Russia gator.
Yeah.
So,
but it opened up the door about the issue of socialism. So there were many people disillusioned by his supporting Clinton at the end, who joined in the struggle. A lot of young people are finding their way in the struggle. The youth naturally have idealism and a desire to change things for the better, from children on up. And they're finding their way. And I'm glad in my party, the vast majority are young.
Yeah, no, I seen many things on
Yeah.
not just the PSL in Albuquerque, but elsewhere where you guys have
Yeah.
everyday things going on in your party, which is very good. You know, I think you guys are out there on the streets talking to people, which is probably the best thing you guys can do and stuff, because it shows a lot of grassroots movement as well, and
Yeah.
getting the idea of socialism and what it is, and kind of letting people not buy into what the media is portraying them as, as bad guys or things like that. So
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing,
Yeah.
and I commend you for what
Well,
you're doing.
thank you. But I grew up in Albuquerque. My mother's from Mexico. My dad was Mexican American, and we're a very working class family. We were evicted twice from our home. We knew what it was to have our gas and electric turned off a few times. Didn't have enough food a lot of times. My father was a letter carrier. My mother, seamstress, in sweatshops, waitress, cleaning rooms, people's homes. But I still believed in the system, because you grow up under it and you
Yes.
think, well, it's capitalism, it's the best system, But we were poor and suffered racism. And I knew something had to change, but I didn't know how. And it was going to school at Brandeis University. How did I get from New Mexico to Boston with no money? Was my eyes were opened up, and I was woken up by the black and Latino students who said, "We fought for you. You got here because we shut the campus down." It was a wave of radical activism across the U.S. in many colleges that shut schools down for ethnic studies, for affirmative action. And it's how my mind was changed to understand I wasn't the product of good grades. I was a product of the struggle and other people fighting for me. And by the end of that school year, I became a socialist, or I wanted to become a socialist. And so I think, given my experience and the illusions, there are tens of millions of people in the same situation who are told by the education system, by the government, by the media, capitalism that's as far as we're going. It's the best thing there is. So get used to it. People wake up.
Yeah.
People wake up. We got to get together and fight.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you very much, Gloria. I really appreciate
Thank you.
everything. Thank you for
Thank you.
for coming over here. I know it's a far drive, and I know you have a lot of things going on. So, but thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate what you do and the fact that you're putting the word out
Yes.
and telling truth to power.
Thank you much. I appreciate
you.
it. Thank you.